Hey guys, got some last minute leaks for you regarding the iPhone 11 Pro. iPhone SE 2 has been detailed by Mark Gurman, and it's not what we thought. The 2020 iPhone and Touch ID, got some more info on that. The Apple Watch Series 5, lots of beans have been spilled about this one. And the Apple Tile competitor design has leaked. The functionality has been detailed, looks amazing. So got a full plate, got lots to talk about. First thing I wanted to mention is the mid-mounted Apple logo. At first I thought it was funny. I mean, all these dummies, clones coming out with the Apple logo planted straight in the middle. And then Spigen came out with their latest cases. I got my hands on these and they actually designed around it. So you better betcha that in just a few days here, Apple's going to be announcing an iPhone with absolutely zero text on the exterior. I think this is one of the first times ever for a smartphone where it's going to be so clean and the brand power so strong that you'll know immediately what it is. And there may be a different reason for this as well. I personally think that the Apple logo was placed here as sort of a placeholder to where you'll be charging your gadgets. Like the AirPods 2 case, you'll know exactly where to pop it on the back. Could be just an unintended side effect. And personally, I like how bold the move is by Apple to make the Apple logo directly in the middle because no one else has done it. Even the Huawei Mate 30, which has leaked in full by OnLeaks, it has two words on the back, the Leica text and the Huawei text. Apple's so confident in their branding, they're not even going to have any on the back. That is awesome. And maybe future iPhones won't even have the logo, although very unlikely. By the way, in regards to the Huawei Mate 30, I kind of like it. I like that these manufacturers are doing very bold things with the lenses. As we know, Apple has went out and done the square lens. Now Mate 30 is going to be conquering the circle lens on the back, and that's immediately identifiable. You'll see the branding, you'll see that circle lens or the square lens, and you'll know exactly what it is. The new OnePlus 7T Pro as well. And the Mate 30 doesn't have volume buttons. That also intrigues me on a smartphone. I think that one day Apple may transition to an iPhone without volume buttons, just pressure sensitive points on the side, because that would achieve that slate clean glass design like Johnny Ive envisioned. And regarding the release of this year's iPhone, Mac Rumors received a tip by someone that works at a carrier store saying Friday the 13th you'll be able to pre-order it, and the following Friday the 20th it will be the actual street date. So I'm pretty in line with what we've heard. And CoinX, a Twitter leaker, is teasing that we'll have a one more thing at this event. If you know, historically, Steve Jobs would save the best for last, so we may have a very nice surprise at this event that we haven't heard anything about. Could it possibly be some sort of AR headset that Apple has been working on for quite some time? We'll find out. And a very interesting theory by Charles Arthur of Medium as to why iOS 13.1 exists. As we know, Apple started working on that beta program before iOS 13 was even launched, and it's kind of strange. He's predicting that it was because of the tariffs. So the iPhone you may receive on September 20th will be running iOS 13 Beta 8. Very likely, and there will be a day one patch, probably 13.0.1, to patch that up and bring it up to the latest. So kind of interesting. Apple needed to get those phones through the door to the mainland as soon as possible, and they couldn't finish iOS 13 in time. So your new iPhone may receive a beta at launch, and that's a first. A Geekbench has been posted online from the supposed Apple A13 processor running on the iPhone 11, a 10R successor. And it's not very inspiring. Just a 12% boost on the single core score. It confirms it'll have 4 GB of RAM, yet the multi-core score stays the same. I'm hoping this is fake. And for the first time ever, the new 11 Pro will have new photo settings dedicated to low light photography. This was found by Mac Rumors on an internal build of iOS 13 they got their hands on. Very cool. We already knew this, but this essentially confirms that. Also found within this internal build of iOS 13 by Mac Rumors is the Apple Tile competitor, the physical actual object. It's a circle. Very simple design. I'm assuming it'll either have a keychain ring up top or an adhesive pad that you can stick onto certain devices. Very simple, full integration with Find My with a new section in the app called Items. In here, you'll be able to track certain things that you attach this tag to, and there's that screenshot that leaked of that. They've also found reference to the fact that this will have AR tracking with balloons, where you'll use your new iPhone camera and be able to see a balloon with a string tied to where that tile is laying around the house. That seems ridiculous, and that's very likely what Apple will announce. Super cool. I mean, that's how you keep people attached to that ecosystem. Just make it impossible to leave. Tile does not have that kind of integration. And Mac Rumors found an AR icon in the on and off position in direct reference to this Tile tracker, and a lot of people took that out of context and imagined that Apple would be releasing an AR headset. Very unlikely. And it's official. Apple is working on Touch ID technology to bring back to the iPhone in 2020 or 2021. Mark Gurman of Bloomberg is reporting that Apple's been working on this and it'll be working in conjunction with Face ID. Now, it's very possible that we may see it as soon as 2020, so next year's iPhones. And so far, details are light, but we know that Apple is working with suppliers to include a fingerprint sensor in the display. And they're trying to do it on a mass scale. So that's the issue here, is they're determining whether or not it's viable to do on a mass scale. And from that, they'll decide whether or not to integrate it into the 2020 iPhone or wait until 2021. So you as a consumer get the best of both ends here. Not only will you be able to authenticate with your face, with Face ID, also with fingerprint recognition, or both. Your iPhone would be getting even more secure. I personally welcome the speed boost benefits. In most cases on Android phones, fingerprint recognition is always faster, authenticates almost immediately. Even the iPhone 5S with its Touch ID is faster than current Face ID on the XS. So that's definitely something I'll be welcoming. That is a huge reason to upgrade. This year's release isn't that enticing. The 5G 2020 iPhone is just getting better and better. ProMotion, 5G technology, in-screen fingerprint sensing, if they can pull this off in time. He's also reporting that it would work on a large portion of the display. So not necessarily on the entire screen surface. That would be cool, but largely unnecessary, I think. Most Android phones have a very small point where you have to put your finger, and this would definitely make things more convenient. Also mentioned in Gurman's report is that yes, Apple is working on a cheaper iPhone. Cheaper even than the $750 entry point iPhone 11. So this will likely be a 4.7-inch model that's modeled after the iPhone 8. Meaning it'll still have a home button with Touch ID with just updated internals. The Apple A13 is likely here. I'm guessing it would start at around $400, $500. You'd be able to get your foot in the door to Apple, but still have a pretty capable device. Now, Nikki also earlier in the week did support this claim. They said that Apple is working on a 4.7-inch iPhone 8-like device, and we'll model that up in the next video just to give you an idea. It will not be the iPhone SE edge-to-edge design of your dreams, unfortunately. And developer Rambo found reference to this device. He's calling it the iPhone 12-8. So it does exist. Apple is working on it. Gurman is reporting on it. It means we definitely will be seeing this in the first half of 2020. And John Gruber of Daring Fireball published an excellent article regarding the naming of this year's iPhones. He agrees 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max are most likely, although he would have preferred iPhone Pro. He does make a good point as to why Apple wouldn't do that, as it would get confusing, and Apple still continues to sell some older iPhones. Without a number in it, things would get icky really fast for the consumer. And another interesting point he made is, what iPhone will Apple continue to sell after this year's release? Very likely the XS and XS Max are getting axed. You won't be able to buy those anymore, and the XR will get downgraded and sold at a cheaper price. So the lineup will be the XR and then the 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. Turns out the Apple Watch Series 5 will likely not be happening this year, more like a 4.5 release. Twitter leaker Longhorn has shared details on this, saying from what he's discovered, the Series 5 won't be happening. It'll be the same processor in a new casing. And from what we've heard, those will be titanium and ceramic, which is still very cool. I'd expect that Apple would improve the battery life somehow, as the Apple Watch is getting sleep tracking now. Even just a new finish like titanium or ceramic, I think, will be enough. By the way, the actual setup for ceramic has leaked also. The video looks pretty cool. And yes, sleep tracking is happening on the Apple Watch. According to 9to5Mac, Apple's working on adding this to maybe even existing Apple Watches, as no new hardware is needed to make it work, just existing sensors on the Apple Watch. So you'll be able to track your sleep, and the only problem here is, of course, battery. When are you going to charge it? They're saying there's a solution where your Apple Watch will notify you before your bedtime to charge it for 45 minutes, then put it on and wake up and be ready to go. Also found by Mac Rumors in that leaked iOS 13 code is a new feature coming to the Apple Watch called School Time, where you'll be able to put it into sort of a do not disturb mode where it'll axe all notifications, complications, just give you the bare minimum time probably while at school so you can stay focused. Mac Rumors also discovered a reference to new complications coming to the Apple Watch, including an altimeter, so longitude, latitude readouts, and a new complication for bedtime mode. So you'll have an exclusive one there. And lastly, just want to take a look at Gray International's new product, the Vandium Titanium Apple Card case. Had mine for quite some time. It's not fully titanium, 90% and 10% aluminum. Ooh, very cool. So looks like it's got some carbon fiber or Kevlar inside. And okay, that's the way it works. So some tension, keeping your cards and stuff in place. Wow, very cool. I do love it. The design is fresh. You can take it out both ways. And of course, titanium with titanium. Match made in heaven. Thank you for sending me this. I'm going to enjoy it. And there you go. That's the latest Apple news. We'll be seeing this guy in the flesh in just a few days here. So hyped. Can't wait to see what Apple's been cooking. All right, guys. Peace.